and welcome to the very first episode of Let's Talk About Star Wars with Maggie Lovett. That's me. I've been a fan of Star Wars for a little over 20 years, and I decided that it's time for me to make my very own YouTube channel. If you know me from the Star Wars Twitter fandom, then this is going to be a lot of old news for you. I feel like I have told my Star Wars origin story a dozen times this year. Back in January, I was asked to guest on the Star Wars Friends Show podcast, which actually launched my start into podcasting. I'm actually a host over on that podcast now, and you can find me on our weekly episodes as well as some of our really awesome live streams. And we have some really cool guests coming on soon for us to interview, so you really don't want to miss out on that. But off the heels of my first podcast appearance, I went on to guest host over on the Cantina cast. And then I jumped over as a guest on Around the Galaxy, Blue Milk Cafe, and the Beltway Banthas. You can also find me on some upcoming live streams with the Geeky Waffle, which are really awesome, and I'm super excited about them. I also made a huge life transition at the beginning of the year. I went from the museum industry into entertainment journalism. I write for Your Money Geek now as the managing editor of entertainment, which happened because of Star Wars. My first interview as a journalist over there was actually with the armorer herself, Emily Swallow, who is so sweet. As far as my Star Wars story goes, it begins in 1999 with The Phantom Menace. My dad took me to see the movie opening weekend, and I had no idea what a Star Wars was. And I really could not have foreseen how much the franchise would go on to impact my life. After I got over my hysterical crying over Qui-Gon Jinn's death, I wanted more. I wanted anything and everything that had to do with Star Wars. I wanted it. I still actually have my original Qui-Gon Jinn and Padme action figures that I picked up at KB Toys a few weeks after I saw The Phantom Menace. To say that Star Wars consumed my life is an understatement. As I got older, I started delving into the expanded universe and dreaming of a world where I would one day see Jaina Solo and her brother Jason on the big screen. I also had a pipe fantasy that I would become Jaina. Didn't really work out for me. I made friends because of Star Wars. I literally turned around on a school bus one day and was like, hey, you have a Yoda shirt on. You must like Star Wars. It was just everything I wanted to talk about. I loved it. My friends and I would give each other Padawan braids and Star Wars monikers. It was everything to me. I always get really jealous of everyone who has pictures of their Star Wars merch and their Star Wars Halloween costumes from when they were a kid, because I was always too big for Padme costumes. And I'm pretty sure no one wanted pictures of me wearing my dad's BDUs as I rode around on my bike pretending to be Luke training on Dagobah. And there was also the time I decided to build an X-Wing out of tomato cages in my garden. There's no pictures of that. The only picture I have actually just resurfaced this week, and it is an endearing picture of 14-year-old Maggie dressed up like Anakin Skywalker at a party. It's dorky, and I put it everywhere on social media because I was a giant nerd, and I am still proud of myself for dressing up as Anakin Skywalker. That one picture is pretty much the sum total of my personal Jedi relics. That and about a dozen lightsabers and a Yoda t-shirt I bought in the boys section of Walmart because there were no shirts in the girls section. There's still so few. I don't know what this YouTube channel is going to become, but I really hope that it is something positive. My New Year's resolution was to be more positive, and 2020 has tried really hard to keep that from happening. And I'm going to be upfront with you. Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars film. The Last Jedi is my favorite sequel film. The Rise of Skywalker is a no-go for me. I really love Kylo Ren. Rose Tico, Finn, and Poe Dameron deserve so much better than what they got. The Mandalorian and Jedi Fallen Order were the best content that came out of 2019. The prequels are good. Jar Jar Binks will always own a small piece of my heart. And I'm a bitter EU fan, but I love what Disney's been doing with Star Wars. Sure, things aren't perfect, but what is? I love Star Wars because of how it makes me feel. I love it just like I love Star Trek because it has unlocked so much creativity and inspiration for me, and it has taken over every aspect of my creative life. Hopefully, you'll come along with me on this adventure into a galaxy far, far away where we can talk about Star Wars.